In today's tutorial, learn how to make a hexagonal baby afghan. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Today's tutorial we're going to work on this particular afghan, and I've designed it in a way that you can go as big as you want to and it will not buckle, meaning that it won't gain any extra stitches so that it will always continue to lay flat. Now the pattern that I designed for this is for a baby, but you can just continue to go bigger and bigger and bigger. If you're going to do a baby size, I'd recommend 2 of these big balls. These are 10.5 ounces or 300 grams, whatever you prefer, and there is a lot of yarn on this, and you can find this in major retailers near you. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit more about this and get started. The trick with hexagons is that we have to worry about the corners, and we also have to worry about the stitches in between, and if you put too many stitches in between, then you end up with buckling, meaning that you'll get ruffling, and if there's too little, then it will start compressing and doing bowl shape just like so. So the idea is to get it perfect each and every time. Now what I found with myself in the design is that we have to get you past the first 3 revolutions, and then after that it's absolutely identical, and just like a normal granny square, the only difference is from every square that every rotation we move up to see is that there's 1, and then there goes 2, then there's 3, because there's more gapping spaces just like this. So it just becomes very easy. I did this in a matter of minutes, to be quite honest with you. A baby afghan or like this would not take you very long at all. So we're going to be using a size L, an 8mm crochet hook today, and we are going to be using the Baby Bernat yarn to do this pattern. So let's get ready. Remember, size 8mm, size L crochet hook today. We're just going to start off with the slip knot just like you see here. And remember, there's other tutorials available on learning how to crochet if you're not familiar with it. Let's put our hook into the loop itself, and remember that that never counts as 1. Let's begin, and we are going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and please insert your hook into the beginning chain to form a ring. So just go into the beginning chain, grab that yarn and pull through and through, and you have the very big center ring just like this. Now with the straggler, I want you to just wrap it around as if it's part of the circle so that we can lose it, so we never have to see the beginning tail ends. Okay, let's begin our first revolution, and here we go. We're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to create 6 groups of 3 double crochet. Remember in crochet that this first one that we just did of the chaining 3 counts as a double crochet. So we have to do 2 more double crochets into the center of the ring to complete that group of 3. Okay, so you got 2 in there, and then every time you finish a group of 3 you're going to chain 1. Okay, so let's do another 3 double crochets. So now that we've already done our chain 1 the first time, we just have to slam in our double crochets in groups of 3. So here's another group of 3, and then we chain 1. Let's do another one. So you want a total of 6. Okay, and that will give you your 6 sides that you need for hexagonal afghan, just like we're doing today. And continue along. So now I'm halfway around. You'll notice that you will start getting tighter and tighter into the center. Is exactly what you want. So remember, chain 1 before starting another group of 3. Okay, and here's another group, and this is number 4, and then chain 1 and do another group of 3, and this is going to be the 5th group. Okay, so there's the 5. So if you're running out of stitches, which we are, we just have to slide. See that? Because it's just around the loop, but you can just slide it out of the way, chain 1 and then begin the next group. So the advantage to this particular afghan is that it's thick, it's soft, but it actually breathes. So if you're in a climate where a baby doesn't need to be sweating sweating all the time, then it's a great opportunity because this will breathe. So we got 1, 2, 3, and I'm counting the number of groups of 3. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then to finish off is that we're just going to chain 1 and then just join it to the top of the beginning chain 3. Okay, So make sure you count that, double check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 groups of 3, and let's move on. So let's move along to our next group. So what I have in this, every time in my pattern that you're finishing off, you always have to then move and slip stitch yourself to the next chain 1 space. See how we're already attached there? If you go backward it's gonna look awkward. So we're just gonna slip ourselves into the next stitch available and pull through and through. That's a slip stitch. And the next one, through and through. That's the next slip stitch. And then finally we're into the gapping space, so go right into the gap and slip stitch to begin the next row. So you're gonna do that each and every time. So let's begin this round. This round again is really simple. So we're gonna start off by chaining 3. 1, 2 and 3. Remember that counts as a double crochet. So in the corners what's gonna happen each and every time from here on until until you're done, you're going to put in 3 double crochets as together. Okay, remember that chaining of 3 already counts as 1. So you have 3, then you're going to chain 1 and then put 3 more into the same space. So this is what your corner is gonna look like each and every time. Okay, and that's, remember there's 6 corners for because it's a hexagonal. So let's begin. So we're now going to chain 1 and we're going to complete the next corner. So remember what I said. So the corners are always 3 double crochet and then followed by a chain 1. Okay, and then 3 double crochet into the same chain 1 space. Oops, I missed that one that time. I love this particular kind of yarn. It goes so fast, is that you can whip off afghans in no time. So once you got that done, chain 1, and we're gonna be playing in this gapping space that you're creating with the chain 1 in the next round. So we have another corner. Okay, so continue to do your corners for this particular round and I'll meet you back in just a moment and we'll show you how to finish this round and start out with the next. And remember that the corners are always 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. So we're just finishing up this round. You can see the 6 sides are now starting to take its shape, and then remember before you join it to the first one you have to chain 1 first and then just join it to the top of the beginning, chain 3. And then that concludes that round. So this is round number 2. So round number 3 is about then establishing the pattern and making it really easy to follow this part forward. So let's continue. Let's begin round number 3. So round number 3 we're going to slip stitch ourselves to the first chain 1 space. Okay, so let's just do what we've already know, just slip stitch over. And we're moving ourselves into a position so that we can start off the next round perfectly. So here is the chain 1 space and we're ready to go, and you can tell we're in the middle of a corner. Okay, so because that's where the next chain 1 space is. So we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2 and 3 and form another corner right into the same space. So the corners are always the same. 3 double crochet, a chain 1, 3 double crochet. Remember for the first stitch up that's chaining a 3, that counts as 1 double crochet. So the only difference between this round and all of the other rounds going forward is the amount of chain spaces in between the corner section. Okay, so you have your corner now in. So 3 double crochets, chain 1. So right now is that the next corner is over here, but there's a gap in the way. So what we do with the gaps from going from here on forward, the only difference between every round is that there's more gaps. So we're gonna chain 1 first and then put 2 double crochets right into this gapping space. So 1 and 2, that's it. And then once you've done that, chain 1 and then you move to the next corner. So the corner is always the same, 3 double crochet. And do you see in my hands that this afghan is not buckling? So if there's a problem with the stitch counting at this point, you would start to see it bowl in, or you'd start to see it ruffle extra, but right now it's perfect. So your corner's in, you chain 1 first, here's the next gap, and there's only gonna be 2 double crochets into that gap. So going forward, all the gap spaces in between the corners are always only gonna be 2, followed by a chain 1 and then a corner. So continue to do that all the way around. I'll see you back in just a moment. I'll take you to the next round and just show you that there is more gaps, and basically you can just go off, watch TV and enjoy the rest of your pattern. Once you get all the way back around, you'll have the gapping space. Okay, remember that you have to chain 1 first, which I've already done off camera, and then we just simply join it to the beginning of the chain 3. So this is what it looks like at this point. See, so it's still sitting flat. So the only difference is that there's going to be more gapping spaces in the corner. So let's begin our next revolution, and this will be the same going forward. Just got to keep in mind there will be more gapping spaces each and every time you go around. So beginning our next round, this is going to be the same. We're going to slip stitch again ourselves to the chain 1 space, and that is the very corner, and we start off with the corner piece. Okay, so we're gonna just chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then just put in your 2 more double crochets into that. It's the first side of the corner, chain 1 and then continue the other side. So with the other 3 double crochets in. Okay, and once you have that done, remember chain 1 and then you have your gapping spaces. So this time you have 2 instead of 1. So there's gonna be 2 double crochets in the first one, followed by a chain 1 and then 2 double crochets into the next, because there's another gapping space before the corner, followed by a chain 1 and then you do your corner. See? Not very hard. And this is when you can start just kick back, relax, enjoy the pattern, and you can go as big or as small as you want to. And this would be how you complete it. Once you get to the size that you want, just fasten off, weave in your ends, and you have an amazing little Afghan blanket. You can go as big as you want to, so it doesn't have to be little. It can be any size that you wish. Till next time, Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. We'll see ya.